Self-control is often mistaken for mere discipline, a rigid force of willpower we summon when the moment demands it. But that's only the surface. Beneath the surface, self-control is a battlefield, a war between who you are and who you want to become, between your primal instincts and your higher self. It's not about perfection or constant victory. It's about presence. It's about understanding the architecture of your own mind and learning to navigate its fractures without losing your way. Think about the last time you felt truly in control, not just externally, but internally. Not because you were suppressing impulses with brute force, but because you had clarity, calm, and grounded awareness. That moment is self-control in its purest form. It's the silent strength that doesn't shout, but holds everything steady even when chaos threatens to consume you. This is a strength born not from avoiding temptation, but from understanding it deeply, where it comes from, why it calls to you, and what it means to answer or refuse that call. At its core, self-control is a dialogue inside yourself, between the impulsive part that reacts and the conscious part that reflects. This conversation is shaped by years of experience, trauma, habit, and environment. The nervous system plays its part, firing signals that tug at your attention, demanding immediate satisfaction, while your frontal cortex tries to plot a longer path, a path where consequences, values, and identity matter more than momentary comfort. But here's the brutal truth. Self-control is never about silencing the impulsive self. It's about managing it, giving it a voice, understanding its urgency without letting it run the show. This means the true battle isn't external temptation, but internal fragmentation. The parts of you that pull in different directions, each desperate to be heard. Self-control is the act of uniting those parts, of becoming the leader who doesn't dominate through force, but commands through presence. To cultivate self-control, you first have to face the impulses themselves, those raw emotions and urges we often deny or bury. Anger, fear, boredom, loneliness. These are not weaknesses. They are signals from your internal system trying to communicate. When you learn to sit with these feelings without judgment, without immediate reaction, you begin to build the space where control arises. This space isn't empty. It's charged with awareness, a calm eye in the storm. This is where tactical self-control emerges. It's not about denial or restraint born from shame. It's about deliberate engagement, choosing your actions based on long-term alignment rather than short-term relief. It's about having a clear internal map of your priorities, your values, and your identity, and using that map to navigate every decision. This clarity comes only when you know yourself in the rawest sense, when you acknowledge your darkest parts without flinching. Understand this: every moment of self-control is a moment of internal resistance. But resistance against what? Against the automatic, the habitual, the instinctual patterns that once served you but now trap you. Self-control is an act of reclaiming territory in your own psyche, a refusal to be a slave to impulsive habits or conditioned responses. This is why it demands patience and practice, not because you're weak, but because you're rebuilding an internal infrastructure strong enough to hold you steady through storms. And yet, self-control is not a cold, emotionless force. It's deeply emotional, profoundly human. It's the tension between the warrior who must fight for what matters and the healer who knows when to rest and rebuild. The man who exercises true self-control is not one who suppresses his emotions, but one who channels them, harnesses their energy to fuel purpose, not chaos. This channeling is the essence of emotional mastery, a step beyond mere control. Here's where most men get lost. They confuse self-control with rigidity, and rigidity leads to fracture. True control is flexible, adaptive. It's a flow state that balances strength with softness, structure with freedom. It's the ability to say no without becoming hardened, to say yes without losing yourself. The warrior who holds the line but also knows when to lower his sword. The challenge is that our modern world assaults this fragile equilibrium. Instant gratification, relentless distractions, and emotional overload erode the very foundations of self-control. This makes self-control not just a skill, but a survival tactic. Without it, you become reactive, a hostage to your environment and your past. With it, you reclaim agency. You become the architect of your own life, not just a passenger. The practice begins with small victories, resisting one urge, breathing through one impulse, choosing one deliberate action. Over time, these moments compound. They build momentum and resilience. But the real power comes from understanding why those moments matter. Because self-control is a form of self-respect. It's a statement that your future self is worth fighting for, that your integrity is non-negotiable. To truly master self-control, you must learn to embrace discomfort. Discomfort is the currency of growth. It's in the moments when your body screams for ease or distraction that you prove to yourself who you really are. Not the man who folds under pressure, but the man who stands tall, rooted in purpose and calm clarity. This kind of control isn't flashy. It's quiet but unyielding. Finally, self-control is about ownership. Ownership of your mind, your body, your decisions. It's the willingness to be accountable for your impulses without blame or denial. When you own your inner world, you stop looking outside for validation or escape. You stop chasing illusions and start creating reality on your terms. This journey is not easy. It requires brutal honesty and unwavering commitment. But it's the path out of numbness, chaos, and fragmentation. It's the path toward becoming the man who can walk through fire and remain unbroken, who doesn't need to prove strength through domination, but who commands through quiet, relentless presence. In the end, self-control is the ultimate reset. It is the foundation upon which you rebuild yourself, not as a perfect man, but as a whole man. Not a man who denies his nature, but a man who knows it intimately and leads it wisely. This is the power you can wield every day, in every choice, in every breath. Because control is not just about what you resist, it's about who you become in the process.